There's something about handheld gaming devices right now that's both exciting and at the same time, if I'm being honest, kind of frustrating. Exciting because the device is coming out, looks great with features that we've been asking for a long time, but frustrating because the price just keeps climbing. So with the Legion Go 2 already out, I figured this is the best time to talk about the AYANEO 3 again. This is the OLED version right here, which I've been using for the past 3 months at this point, actually pretty much every day. And the truth is, it just keeps pulling me back, okay? I'm not here to throw charts or numbers at you guys. This is just me sharing how it actually feels to use this device from day to day. And honestly, the experience is just wild. It's super compact, it feels super premium in the hands. The speakers, oh my god, they're just next level. And a 7-inch OLED, it still blows me away every single time I turn it on. And then there's the OcuLink port. Now, this one port right here changes everything. Like, dock it on external GPU and suddenly this handheld turns to a whole other machine. And that's why even with new devices dropping, I still reach out for this particular device. And a big part of it is because of the build quality. This thing just feels solid. I've tossed it in my bag, carried it on the train, played on the couch at night, and even pulled it out at the park, and it still looks clean. No rough edges, no weird creaks, just nothing. The ergonomics are also spot on this device. Like, it just sits there in your hands. Like, those devices where, after 30 minutes, your finger starts to ache. This isn't one of them. Like, I'll play for hours and it still feels comfortable enough that I forget that I'm even holding this device. And then, of course, there's the display. Man, this 7-inch OLED is sweet. It's super bright, up to 800 nits, and the colors pop, blacks are deep, and at 1080p resolution, everything looks crisp. And by the way, I've tried bigger handheld displays before, like the One Xperia X1 with that massive 10.5-inch panel, and even the original Lenovo Legion Go with an 8.8-inch. But here's the thing, I actually prefer this size for handheld use. Of course, this comes down to personal preference, but 7-inch in my opinion feels like a sweet spot. It's portable enough not to draw attention in public, but still big enough to feel immersive when I'm on the couch or even on the train. It kind of gives me that, same vibe as giving on my iPhone back in the day, just more powerful and much larger display. Now, the audio quality on this thing, honestly, it's ridiculous. Like, probably the best speaker that I've heard on any handheld, period. They are not just loud, they are rich. At 50% volume, it already fills the room. And sometimes my wife even tells me to turn it down. And that is how good they are. And I've actually caught myself, watching YouTube on this device and forgetting that the sound wasn't coming from my MacBook Pro, but this device, like, it's that convincing.
Which of these two cameras would I choose and recommend more? I would say the iPhone. In my previous test, the iPhone 16 Pro Max just edged out the S25 Ultra, but now with the 17, I would say the gap has become significant. Now, that doesn't mean that Android doesn't have great options. Vivo is killing it.
But of course, let's not pretend that it's perfect. The battery life, yeah, that's the weak spot. 49 watt-hour battery, it's honestly disappointing in 2025, especially when you see something like the Lenovo Legion Go 2 pushing 74 watt-hour. Unplugged, I get maybe 2 hours if I'm playing a less demanding game at 5 to 8 watt TDP, but for AAA games above 20 watt TDP, you barely get 1 hour and 10 minutes, and that's just the reality. But here's how I manage it, okay? I usually game close to a socket, so I just plug it in and use bypass charging. One of the best features in my opinion for this device. It just routes power straight to the system instead of the battery, which actually keeps the temperature under control and helps the battery to last longer. And of course, when I'm out, I just carry a decent power bank, plug it in, and I don't even think about that anymore. It's not ideal, but of course it works, and honestly, it's not enough to stop me from enjoying this device. I'm talking about the battery life. Now, let's talk about performance, okay? Inside this device, you've got the Ryzen AI9 HX370 chip, which, most of the games I play run smooth at 55 to 60 FPS, especially with the Smart TDP feature turned on. And that's where the system automatically adjusts the wattage to hit the frame rate target. I just lock it at 55 FPS, set my game to medium setting, and it does the rest. Smooth gameplay, quiet fans most of the time, of course, and honestly, it feels smarter than me constantly tweaking the settings. And for me, 60 FPS, it's okay. It's a playable frame rate where I can also enjoy some visual quality on the OLED display. And of course, even when the fans do spin up, okay, it's still, I'll say it's still quieter than a lot of handhelds I've used before. And by the way, let me just tell you how I use this device most of the time. Like, I just dock it to my eGPU with the RTX 5070, and like I said, it feels totally different. Like, I run games like Black Myth Wukong at high settings with DLSS on, and it looks incredible. When connected to my portable 4K monitor, it already feels desktop-like. But then I connect it to my 55-inch Philips Ambilight OLED TV, 120Hz, VRR support, HDR, and immersion goes to a whole new level. With OcuLink, I get close to full GPU performance, and that's the hybrid experience I've always wanted. Handheld when I'm out, and desktop class gaming when I'm docked. Now, of course, it's not all roses with this device. You know, the HDR on this device really sucks. It doesn't work, okay? It was marketed as HDR capable, but it looks washed out. Same issue I had with the Zotac Zone, and of course, I'm hoping it's not the case with the Legion Go 2, otherwise I'm going to be really disappointed. And so, yeah, it's really disappointing, but not a deal breaker because SDR still looks fantastic, and at 800 nits, it's more than bright enough indoors and outdoors. So the question is this: should you get this over something like the Lenovo Legion Go 2, since, you know, they're kind of like neck and neck in terms of pricing? Honestly, it depends on what you value. The Legion Go 2 has the bigger screen, VRR, and a larger battery. This one has the brighter OLED, the smaller, more portable footprint, and most importantly, OcuLink port. That to me is the feature that makes it, you know, that makes it feel future-proof. The feature that makes the price worth it. And if you care about docked gaming, OcuLink is the edge. So for me personally, after 3 months, I would still pick the AYANEO 3 OLED. It's not perfect, of course. The battery life sucks, HDR is broken, and you won't get VRR on this handheld display. But with a hybrid build quality, speakers, the portability, and the docked performance, it's been the most complete handheld experience I've had so far. Of course, minus the disappointing battery life. And so this is why I keep choosing this device over other devices. Also, plus, you know, when I feel like tweaking up the experience, I can just get the Magic Module pack and just change up the control layout, maybe to white or some other color. So that's my take. If you've been high in the AYANEO 3, don't overlook it just because the Legion Go 2 is shiny and new. This little thing is still a beast. And of course, if you want to see me stack it directly against the Lenovo Legion Go 2 when it arrives, because I've already ordered it, it's going to be here, I think, in 2 weeks, then make sure to be subscribed and hit the bell icon so you get notified when the video drops. And of course, I'll be putting them side by side, running the same test, and show you guys exactly what you get for the money. You don't want to miss that video. That said, thanks very much for watching. My name is Samson, and I will see you guys in the next one.